Sam Robinson. I am the Gnostic Syncretist. Today, I would like to talk to you about the concept of the One. The God of the Old Testament, the true God, the Godhead, the source of all things in this universe. How we should really define it, how we should define the Old Testament God, who, according to my research, has absolutely nothing to do with the source of all things and the true God that Jesus was actually referring to. When one speaks of God, the majority of people come across as speaking of a male patriarchal deity of the Abrahamic religions. And I grew up as a Christian, but I have come to discover over the years, after 10 years of an agnostic, I eventually found Gnosticism and Hermeticism, as well as Kabbalah, Masonry, though I am in no way a Freemason, and Rosicrucianism, and these ancient mystery schools that have done such a great job of relaying inherently difficult information for many people to grasp in our materialistic world today. So, let me paint a picture for you. If you were going to speak about a God, why in any way, if it is so great, so far above and beyond all of us, would you describe it in an anthropomorphic form? It cannot have an anthropomorphic form, or it is in no way a true God. The only way it could be a true God is if it encompassed everything, is everything, and with everything coming and manifesting from it. In the Rosicrucians, they call this the infinite unmanifest. There is nothing above it. There is nothing that it has ever come from. For it would be impossible for that to actually occur, for it to actually still be considered the one and true source of all things. In Hermeticism, they call it the all, or the one. The all, or the one, in essence, is the inherent manifesting force of the entire cosmos, the manifesting force, and is above and beyond any concept of an anthropomorphic God. Anthropomorphic gods may come from him, but they are just a manifestation like any other, even if they are greater than some others. The one source, the true source, is in everything, works through everything, and inherently must be so to actually be the one true source of all things. As Kierkegaard would say, if you name me, you negate me. And that exactly is what has happened in the majority of the Christian world, the Islamic world, the Judaic world. They are not worshiping the one true God. You shouldn't even really call it the God. I prefer to call it the infinite unmanifest, or the one, or the source. Any other terms fall so far short of describing this cosmic, all-permeating force that to do so, as Kierkegaard said, would negate it. You cannot label it, you cannot name it in any way, shape, or form. To give it a form has completely negated it, entrapped it in something, and has limited its power to that thing itself. No matter how great, it is limitless. It is endless. It has always been here. It will always be here. It works in cycles, according to the Rosicrucian doctrines. Just like if anyone has read Wheel of Time, you have 7 great cycles, and then they come back, and that's why it's the Wheel of Time, with a serpent eating its own tail, trapped around the wheel. Because the wheel is forever, and it cannot be broken. Then there is Yod-Nabayoth, Yahweh, the creator, false god, demiurge, the Gnostic demiurge. He has claimed himself to be the creator of the universe. He is not the creator of the universe. He may be the creator of our small section of the universe where he has trapped us in an attempt to steal back his mother's light, Sophia's light that he lost to us when he created us, as I explained in the Secret Book of John. In the Secret Book of John, it specifically states that once we rose up and were enlightened, he can no longer deal with that fact and immediately threw us down in the lowest realm of material reality. Hold on just one second. The first rule of Hermeticism, and the first principle upon which the entire foundation of the temple rests itself, is that the all in the one is an infinite living mind through which all things manifest. Fall into manifestation, are created, and then regress back into the one in a cycle that is endless and has gone on since the beginning of time. The entire universe, contrary to all popular and 20th and 21st century opinion, is not materialistic. It is entirely the opposite, as the Hermeticists of ancient lore have stated. The universe is mental, and physicality came afterwards. It was not first. It may not have even have been second. People have such an inherently skewed view of how the universe actually works when our eyes only see less than a single % of what's actually going on around us, when it's all been obfuscated from us, maybe through our DNA, maybe by Yal the Both, maybe by a combination of a multitude of races and entities working together against us. I have not yet figured that part out, but I will. All I know is that material reality is the farthest thing from what is actually going on in this universe, especially after reading the Kabbalion, which is the quick guide to the universe, I would say. And like I said, the first principle is that the universe is completely mental in every shape or form. And now this would explain certain psychic and supernatural phenomena such as ghosts, such as spirits, such as telepathy, claircognizance, clairvoyance, where the mind is all, the mind is everything. There is no such thing as matter in its sense. And this comes to another principle, the principle of vibration. Everything vibrates. Everything is just a frequency, a sound, moving at a certain rate of vibration from spirit, which is at an extremely high rate of frequency, to the lowest form of gross matter at a frequency so low that it almost seems to be not moving at all. The other principle that allows for manifestation to even take place is the principle of polarity, or in essence, Zoroastrian dualism, which is the manifesting principle of the universe. You must inherently create dualism and a contrary principle for anything to manifest itself into the cosmos at all. Without creating its counter opposite, it would be imbalanced every single time. You must have balance. And of course, being a true God, a true source, you must have duality and balance in everything. Now, this principle has been used against us by the Illuminati, by the NWO, by the elite global cabal. That I promise their time is coming. But we'll get into that later. And behind that, of course, are the Archons and Yaldabaoth himself, who has been around for ages, using this duality, the dialectic of the left and the right, the blue and the red against us. It is in everything. It manifests in everything. They put it in every commercial. They put it in every movie. They put it on every single ad. They put it in every game. They put it in every book that has anything to do with fantasy or lore or magic. The real truths tend to hide in plain sight, invariably, without fail. No matter how much people don't want to see it, it's always right in their face. They want you to catch on to the pattern that the Hermeticist path can explain to you. It becomes much, much easier to see, almost to the point of absurdity, where you see it in absolutely everything. The next principle is, well, not the exact next principle, but another principle of Hermeticism, there are 7 in all, is gender. And this ties in, I think, in a way with the polarity principle, because everything in the universe is male and female. And the Rosicrucians take this to a very high degree of explanatory power and degree when they talk about it. They talk about how down to the grossest form of matter, down to the smallest of particles, are male and female, even on the atomic level. That the reason there is an attraction in chemistry between any two particles is the inherent attraction of a male and female particle towards a male and female. connecting particle, essentially. And that without this animating principle, this is actually the seventh principle, by the way, but without this principle, duality itself would not work the way that it does today. And I'm talking about not just in beings, supposedly what we consider to be living beings. I'm talking about down to what we consider to be gross matter that most people think have absolutely no conscience or sentience to it at all, which the Hermeticist would say is absolutely inherently wrong, since everything is the all and everything is the one, and everything is part and through and working through the infinite living mind. Everything has sentience, down to the smallest atom, this chair, this computer, the jacket that I'm wearing right here, the cup that I'm drinking out here. It is all sentient, every single bit of it. And this may be hard for some people to understand, but they will one day. Science is coming to this conclusion very, very slowly through quantum mechanics. But these types of fringe ideas are not often allowed to be spoken of by the cabal, by scientists that are actually making deep, deep cracks into the cosmos. Cosmos and the cosmic ideas that are represented by these Hermetic principles thousands of years ago, and that have been scoffed at by the 20th century skeptics and 21st century moral relativists and material relativists that are now driving our society today, dividing humanity with the Hermetic principles used as a weapon against us. It is time for us to rise up, my brothers and sisters, and realize how they use these ideas against us, and how we can fight back with the very same ideas that they use as well. Once you can pick up on the pattern becomes very easy to follow. They leave cookie crumb trails everywhere, seemingly because they must, because they have to. In every single movie that I've almost ever watched and gone back and watched again, I always catch the Freemason chessboard somewhere in the movie. They invariably must put it in there for some reason. And the research that I've done tells us that this is the case because we must inherently, subconsciously agree to the very mind spell that they are in fact throwing upon us. And they know that their magic will not work in any other way. And so we must be a passive participant in their spell. And the gig is up. Their pattern is really, honestly, not that hard to follow. There is only one story here. For the most part, there are a million ideas and a million theories, but I'm going to syncretize them all. I'm going to find the real truth here. I'm going to find the true story. The majority of it seems to be hidden in the Nag Hammadi. And then there's the Hermeticist path, which helps you link a lot of these things together and is inherently linked to Gnosticism. I hope that you will subscribe to this channel, follow me along my path to help show you the way, and show myself even further knowledge to gain in this path. There is so much to learn, an infinite amount to learn. But I think that together we can take back this world the way that it's supposed to be and learn how the world really works. The stuff that the cabal does not want us to know. And then we can use it against them. Maybe one day. But the major issue is disseminating the truth, waking people up to the ideas of the anti-material universe, the mental universe, the dualistic universe, the idea of true male and female equity and equality that actually exists inherently in nature and has been subverted and used against us for ages. And that time is ended. We won't allow it anymore. So, who's with me? Subscribe to my channel, and let's take back our world.